Hello, my name is Eugen. I'd like to tell you about behavior patterns. What is behavior in object-oriented programming? For me, it's some method for algorithm or algorithms that have some general paths for several objects. As for me, the most used behavior patterns are strategy, uh, template method, state, observer, command, and others. There are many others behavior patterns, and as I understand, maybe you have your own patterns. First of all, we should understand what is patterns. As for me, patterns is like when some people have the same problems in programming, and the issue of these problems is that effective, of course, in time, in close future, you can call these patterns. Okay, let's talk about each patterns more in details. Strategy. As for me, it's most used pattern in programming. First of all, you should, when you design project or part of project, you should understand what parts of project in project in future can be changed. For example, some behavior, for example, fly behavior for birds. We have some different birds, for example, that can fly very high or can't fly, but they also will have method fly behavior. Or we can have planes that also fly, and they implement this method in different ways. In computer programming, the strategic pattern, also known as the policy pattern, is a behavioral software design pattern that enables selection and algorithm at a future and a runtime. Here we see the simplest interface for this pattern, maybe, for example, payment strategy. And in this strategy, we should know we should have the same method pay, and in this constructor we should know only count of amount. And of course we can have different payments. It's two simplest implementation of previous interface. For example, credit card strategy and PayPal strategy. They also all of them implement payment strategy, and for example, payment strategy should know only email ID and password, and the credit card strategy should know name, card number, date of expiry, and so on. They all have the same method, but they implement this method in their own style. The next pattern is the template method. Template method is like when we have in different objects entity, we have one part of algorithm that we sure will be used. For example, as we see in the this example, computer builder, computer, and build computer class computer builder, and we have this abstract voice add motherboard, setup motherboard, add processor. But we know that all kinds of computer builder, for example Philips, Sony, will have the same method, and this method will have the same algorithm, for example build computer. And this pattern are usually used when we know that part of some algorithm will be used. We will sure that will be used for all objects that will be implemented this interface. The next pattern is state. For example, our phone have some states, for example on, off, calling, console calling, yes, and this pattern will be good used for describing states of something. In this example we have some class package and some methods. Previous state, it's like a switcher, previous state, next state, and print status. It's like computer say in what status it is on. And of course we have interface, package, state. It's a state interface that have methods next, prev, and print status. Also like a switcher. And this is implements of states. Order state is one of the state, and he implements the package state, and for this state when we call next state it will be switched to the deliver state. It will be in next slide deliver state implementation. And previous state, it's will be when we call previous state for this state, when our package in this state, it will be say that hey guy, you on the root, the previous state is not enabled, and I'm sorry. And print status say that we are on this state. The lift state, it's another state that we can switch from order state to deliver state, which was on the previous slide. This also have the next state. It will be switch us to the receive state and to the previous order state that was in previous state, and print status, and of course receive state. And this as you see next state is enabled. It says that you are the next you I am the last state, and the previous state will be of course deliver state. Observer is pattern like we have, for example, social sites like Contact, Facebook, and we can observe on the other man, on the other person, and when this person will be do something, it's not this person don't have to call all of us that see you I'm change, for example, photo, and but we observe on this state and we see his changes. this is the simple implement example. For example, subject is what it's like a person that on that we observer, for example your friend, and it has three methods: attach, detach, and notify. Notify, update. Attach, it's mean that observer me please. I call this method, and in constructor put the link of the object that want to observe on this object. It will be in the in observer implementation. It will be subject and attach this. It means this me attach this. Detach if we don't want to know about some news from the subject, we can detach this observable. And now we can see the implementation. And of course, when in subject there is some methods, something happens, it has a list of observers, and then it's update. It's says that hey, there is something happened with me, and all my observers should know that something what happens with me. But each observer can do with this information their own with their own way. For example, some can shout something message subject, and some can not shout, and so on. And the last is command. Command is, as for me, is rather simple pattern. For example, we have phone, we have TV, we have fridge, and they all have only one method: execute. I don't know what is execute. As user, I don't know what is execute exactly do. I know that how it do. I know that only one command execute can on my phone, or can turn on my fridge, and I call this method execute. How it do inside, or what this method do inside I don't know. I only as a user know that I have an object, it has an one has a method execute, and I know that with this method I can do what I need. How it do, how this object do inside, and what exactly do I don't know. I only know that with the help of this method I can call some actions. And there we can see the implementations. The text file execute, here is open, and here is the save text file. Let's also implementate this interface, and there is also a not open save, but we can have only one method in our interface. That's all. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.